All right, one last thing I want to cover, which includes a little bit of a review from a previous chapter, chapter 4. In chapter 4, we talked about functions that have even or odd symmetry. And if they had even symmetry, we said they were even functions. If they had odd symmetry, we said they were odd functions. Now, the definition of an even function is it has symmetry about the x-axis, right? So f of minus x is equal to f of x. That's how we can determine whether a function has even symmetry. An odd function has origin symmetry, and the way we determine whether it's an odd function is if f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. Then we say it has origin symmetry or odd symmetry, and it's called an odd function. So be careful, because we just talked about the degree of a polynomial. Now, the degree of a polynomial can also be odd or even, and that's not the same thing as even symmetry, odd symmetry, even function, odd function. So an odd function is not necessarily, well, okay, maybe I should say it the other way around. An odd degree polynomial is not necessarily an odd function, all right? And an even degree polynomial is not necessarily an even function. So let's take a look at example 5 and probably 6 too. I think I can do in one video. So first of all, let's look at this polynomial. We have 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. And the first question is just, does this function have an even degree or odd degree? Well, remember, the degree of a polynomial is the degree of the highest power of x, right? So here, this is the leading term, and it has an even power. So this one has an even degree. Okay, so the degree is even. Is f of x an even function or an odd function? Well, okay, so this has to do with symmetry. This doesn't have to do with the degree of the function. And so what we need to do is look at f of minus x, all right? And maybe I can scroll up just a bit so you can see the definition as well at the same time. All right, so if f of minus x is equal to f of x, then it's an even function. And if f of minus x is minus f of x, then it's an odd function, but it could be neither. So let's just put in into this function, we're going to substitute wherever we see x, we're going to put a minus x in parentheses. So minus 2 times minus x plus 5. All right, and then we're going to simplify that a bit. We square the negative and we get positive. So this is 3x squared. All right, we have minus 2 times a minus x becomes a positive 2x plus 5. Now, we have to compare that to the original function. Does that equal f of x? If it does, then it's even. And it does not, because the sign on that middle term is wrong, is not right. Now, f of minus f of x, let me write minus f of x up here, is equal to minus, we're just going to take the negative of everything. So minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. That would be minus f of x. So it's also not equal to minus f of x. So the answer here is neither. Neither. It's neither an even nor an odd function. All right, even though it has an even degree. All right, can you think of a polynomial with an even degree that is an even function? All right, well, any even power of a negative is going to be positive, right? So if we have f of x equals x squared, right? If we look at f of negative x, we square it, it's going to be the same. F of negative x is going to be also x squared. All right, so this one would be an example of an even degree polynomial. It's only got one nomial, but it's still a polynomial that is also an even function. let's see if we can find another one, right? We could have something like x squared plus 2, right? Again, if I put in negative x, right, and evaluate f of negative x, this x squared just stays x squared because I'm squaring a negative, it becomes positive, and the 2 doesn't change at all. So this would be another one that has an even degree and it is an even function. Or we could have really anything with only even degree terms, right? So I could have something like x to the 4th plus x squared plus 2. All right, those would all be examples of polynomials with an even degree that is also an even function. All right, another question here is, can you think of a polynomial with an even degree that is an odd function? So remember that an odd function, right, if it's an odd function, then f of negative x is equal to negative f of x. But if we take negative x, right, to the nth power, that's, and n is even, right, that's just going to be x to the n if n is even. So what does that mean? So that means that f of negative x can never equal negative f of x if n is even, right? So the answer is no, and it's because of this reason. All right, well, I think I'm going to have to record the last example here in another video, so I will see you in that last video.